Hello everybody and welcome to this overview of your syllabus. At the top of the syllabus is basic syllabus information about the class, including my preferred contact method, which is either via Canvas messaging or via email to my Highline email address. You can also text me or call me on my cell phone during reasonable hours. Our Canvas direct address, and a note that we don't have a textbook in this class, but that all information is being provided for you online. An overview of our course objectives and outcomes, which you can also get using the Outcomes button in Canvas. Our learning expectations. I have some expectations of you, and you can have some stuff that you expect of me. I expect you to be present, to do the reading, to work cooperatively, especially since we've got a really diverse population of people in this class, and we should treat each other with respect. If something happens during the quarter that prevents you from being able to participate in a timely fashion, please let me know. If you suddenly have a relative die or have to go on a sudden business trip and disappear for 2 or 3 weeks and then come back afterwards and ask me to see if you can make it all up, the answer will inevitably be no. Let me know as soon as these things happen and we can work together to get you through it. Let's see, also communicate professionally in the class, do the assigned activities on time, and I expect you to have fun. I want to have fun too. In fact, you can have an expectation of me that I have fun teaching the class. You can also expect that the class is organized and reasonable, that your work is challenging, that it's graded on time, and that you know how you're going to be graded. So it's not a mystery to you what I'm looking for, and that I grade your work fairly. We've already talked about the activities we'll be doing on the class, including the essay, the discussion, quizzes, and the service learning project we haven't talked too much about, and we'll talk more about that in week 2 when that assignment is when that's assigned. But just know that you don't have to go do anything or volunteer anywhere. It's just a really self-directed project that will give you some opportunity to put what you're learning into practice. This quarter we are going to use a grading contract, and what the grading contract basically means is if you do the things I ask of you, you will get a 3.5, and everything is graded as complete or incomplete, so either you do it right and you get full credit, or you don't do it right and you get no credit. So it's pretty straightforward that way. The things that I ask of you is that you do the pre-class assignment, which you've already done if you're listening to this recording, that you do the essays every week, the discussions every week, including a main post and responding to 3 of your peers, the weekly quizzes, the survey, and the service learning project. If you do all of those things and do them as requested, you will get a 3.5. Your work is graded, as I mentioned, as complete or incomplete. If you haven't done it right, if you haven't followed the instructions or the quality is poor, then I'll mark it as incomplete, and you have the opportunity to resubmit it, because I'll give you feedback on what needs to be improved. So you can resubmit it so that you can have everything marked as complete. Now, some people are not necessarily happy with a 3.5. They want to get a 4.0. If you want to get a 4.0, it requires a lot more work, as is the case even in a non-contract grading situation. So if you want to kick it up to the next level and get a 4.0, you have to do all the things, obviously, that are required for the 3.5. You have to do 5 or more quality posts in the discussion each week. You have to earn at least 1 gold star, and throughout the course I have areas where I say, if you do X, I'll give you a gold star. And that you contribute at least 3 quality resources to the course via Flipboard, and I'll talk to you more about that in week 1. So those are the extra things you need to do in order to get a 4.0. Now, what happens on the other end of it if you don't do all of the work to score completes? If that happens, then I'll give you the number of points that you've earned and grade you according to the grading scale. So let's see. Here's your information about email, and let me talk about my late policy, because my late policy is not like everybody else's late policies. I have a thing called a late pass, because I know that life gets in the way of study, and sometimes you just need a little bit of extra time. So 3 times during the quarter, you can have the opportunity to have an additional 4 days to do the work. The nice thing about the late pass is I really don't care why you want to use it. It could be because you had a relative die. It could be because your car stopped working. It could be because your computer crashed. It could be because you just wanted to take a nap instead of do the assignment. I don't care. Just ask for it and it will be granted. The reason is completely irrelevant, and in fact, I'd prefer you didn't even tell me why it was you were asking for the pass. The passes are automatically granted, so you don't have to wait until I write back and say that it's been granted. You can just assume that you've got it as long as you have one of your 3 left. To request a late pass, I ask that you actually send me an email. Don't use Canvas messaging, but send me an email, because I use those emails to track how many late passes you've actually used. And just note in the subject line of the email that you're using a late pass. If you don't use a late pass, then your work won't be submitted or won't be accepted late. So please either ask for a late pass or it won't be accepted. And the key thing about the late pass is you have to ask for it before the assignment is actually due. So this is you thinking ahead, realizing not going to be able to submit this on time. Now, sometimes you are not able to submit it on time, but you're not quite sure if you're going to make it or not. Go ahead and request a late pass anyway, and if you don't end up needing to use it, it won't count against you. So it's better to request one and not need it than to need it and not request it, and then I won't accept your late work. So all your work needs to be submitted in Canvas. You can email work if you somehow feel compelled to do it, but I will not grade it until it's in Canvas. So make sure that you submit the work in Canvas if you want it to actually count. There's no extra credit in this class because it just moves along too fast, and because of the way that we're doing the contract grading. So just keep that in mind. A couple of times a quarter, I do grade reports, just acknowledging you're doing a great job at this point or you're not, and that we are both on the same page about that. I do a grade report in week 3 and week 6. That way there's no surprises at the end of the quarter how you're doing. You already know because we've talked about it a couple of times. Professional communications, if you write to me, I'd encourage you to, especially if you don't use the Canvas email system or messaging system, you need to identify who you are, your class name, our class name, so that I know which class you're writing from. Use complete sentences, be clear, just make sure that your email is as easy for me to respond to as possible so I can respond more quickly. Information about tech support, library support, writing help, mobile access. Canvas has some nice mobile apps, and if you have a mobile device, I'd encourage you to use them. Accessibility information, academic dishonesty. Now, you don't want to cheat. I'll catch you, and then you'll get a 0. And it's just no good comes of that. Also, if I catch you cheating, you won't be allowed to continue in the class until you've gone through a plagiarism module so that you can be educated into not cheating anymore. So just please know that cheating, you don't want to do it. Cheating includes copying and pasting large portions of documents and putting them in for your essays. Just don't do that. And of course, our confidentiality. Please don't share the information that you are getting from colleagues in the class. All of us have privacy rights in this class, and so don't share out the work or discussion posts of other classmates without their permission. Also, I'm just realizing a clause that I usually have in the syllabus that is missing from this, so I will be adding it after I finish this video. As you saw in my bio, I am a lawyer, and oftentimes people use this to ask for legal advice, and I unfortunately cannot give you any legal advice because I'm not your lawyer. So I'm happy to direct people to legal resources if you need them, but I can't give you any legal advice. So that is a quick overview of our syllabus. If you have any questions about the syllabus at all, please come ask me.